Well, it's been an interesting 2.5 weeks.
Has.
We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action, do find the defendant
Guilty. Did you expect that?
No.
Not at all.
I mean, obviously I knew that's a possibility.
Her words tell us that she was involved in this killing. Her actions and her words of texting Chad Daybell tell us the motives behind this murder. Chad and money.
911, where is your emergency?
This event was not planned or expected. It was shocking.
Come out this way, man.
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense.
The Chandler Police Department did treat this event just like it was, self-defense, and a tragic family event.
We looked back through the evidence, the text messages and all that. So it was a little bit of back and forth, but all of us were pretty sure we already knew what we wanted.
It's just sad that this has happened to Charles, and she's given up her life as well. You know, it's sad.
Lori, where are your kids?
Nobody deserved this. Not one death in this was deserved.
6 years of walking the pits of hell every day, and about halfway through, I realized, okay, I'm gonna make it.
We're gonna make it, y'all. Oh my God. Talk about the pits and the depths of hell. Okay. How are you doing? How's it going? Let me fix my screen. I missed y'all so much. That's what I do whenever I'm not here or whenever we're not together. I miss y'all. And yeah. So happy Mother's Day weekend to all the mothers and all the fathers who are mothers. Okay. And yeah. Lori's not running over it with a trial for the first time in the last 2 years. And hey Megan, girl, me and Donna were like, I was already like 10 minutes behind because I was already trying to do it by myself. I was like, where is the damn filing? That one, the state's response. And so anyway, so then I jump on and then, I get her all going. And so we're both, anyway, so she pieced it together because she's awesome. And yeah, so all that, right? And I mean, I've seen all you guys do it, but I just really missed y'all. So I really just wanted a reason to schedule it. Isn't that bad? So psych. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about it. Hey, Jermaine. Hey, Fancy Nancy. Festus's mom, Maria Howard. And happy Mother's Day back to you, Megan. And Judy Girl. Yeah, catching alive. To you. Love to you and your mama and Larry. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Fancy Nancy. Hey, Vixtex. What's up? How are you doing? Hey, Diane L. How's it going? Ginger Snaps. I like that name. That's cute. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm late. Hey, Lamisa, whenever you join. I hope you're having a good day with your bonus babies. That's awesome. Mine, I'm going to do something with my little one here in a little bit. And then the other one's away. My other bonus son, he's not away. Like he's out of town, barely out of town. He's like right out of town for practice today. So he'll be back around 7:30 and yay. Jason's not feeling hot today. So it's kind of one of those on the edge days. And so I'm a little jumpy right now. I'm like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. I wonder sometimes if it's neurological, I'm just like, well, what is it? It's like trying to figure out the wiring on something, but not. He's my fiance, like I love him. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to you guys too. And hey, the X-Files, what's up? Oops, back at you. Why the hell isn't, where'd it go? This one. Why isn't Melanie Powski Why has she not been charged yet? So that, tomorrow we're going to go into that, and well, not why she's not charged. I don't know. I don't know how she's not charged. Straight up. Like, I've been actually, like, whenever you get into your algorithm the way, I do, for sure. I mean, I stay Daybell, right? And what am I doing right here? Anyways, I stay on this case. I always have. And then, when things kind of die down a little bit, it walks away from you a little bit. But okay, I can't do that with my hair. Anyways, so, oh, yeah, we need those. Yeah. You heard it here first, okay? I think that's a good idea. Damn, ADHD brain sucks. What was I saying? We're talking about Melanie Powski, but there's so many. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, so like when I get my algorithm the way it has been lately, it'll just kind of roll into other of my subscribe creators, or that I subscribe to, and it'll just replay old things. So like it's been playing Gigi from Pretty Lies and Alibis, and I mean it's just kind of in the background, when I'm not focusing or paying attention on anything in particular. It's just rolling, it's playing, and I just there's some really, 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 really questionable, at best, questionable text. I mean, it makes me flinch, I'm just like, that is so bad. That is so bad, just being reminded of how Melanie and Brandon's kids were, at least half of them, at least two of them, were rated dark. And that Chad was basically, I mean, she was calling him dad. And the fact that it's like he was saying, okay, I don't even know how to say it because I can't talk like him. He's a dork. But it was like he was consoling her and giving her a pep talk all in the same time via text, saying basically like, yeah, go ahead, sacrifice your kids. That's what it sounded like to me. And I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't have it right in front of me. So y'all know I suck at summarizing or whatever. The things, because it's a lot. And it's just, when you hear it in the context of everything, knowing everything else that we do, and we don't know the half of it, that's the bad part. That is the bad part, I do believe. And that's scary. It really is, because not only are the children, have they been around her since, that's scary right there, and I'm not about tearing families apart. I didn't do it, but I just definitely want her to be held accountable. I'm going to say if, and that's just so I don't get freaking sued by, crazy family. Right, Megan? Holy shit. Megan, if you want to come up, please come on. I would love to talk to you. I just watched your premiere of Nancy Joe, my Aunt Nancy. It was really good. All the places where Lori is a manipulator, and she is so a manipulator. Bad. It's, I mean, for it, like, of all the people, Megan, to land in your family, basically, you got the mother of all mothers, like case studies for years and years and years. And you have like the example right there, Oh, it's scary and sad, but I'm glad you're here to point that out. It's really good. Yeah, there you go. The truth is a defense to defamation. Yeah, you just watched Megan too. I didn't get to comment because I was trying to get ready. But I was listening and it was good. It was real good. I wasn't expecting it. So you got me. Hey, Gloria, how's it going? I hate how it shows my eyes. One day we'll have this fixed and ready or whatever. Not today. Not today. But yeah, so tomorrow we're going to go over an analysis of the conspiracy and attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. And yeah, it's pretty detailed. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm just kind of like off in La La Land. Not really, but anyways. All right. So I guess we'll get started on this. I felt like doing it. Now I don't. Does that make me a bad person? I hope not. So Donna, thank you, Donna. Thank you, Donna. Or sis, you should have been a detective. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, detective's daughter. Wood. Hey, Trace. Yeah, it's a miracle he's still alive. Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Moab police gave Brian Laundrie a Fuking victim advocate and a free hotel stay while they determined Gabby to be the aggressor. That's the same thing that happened here with Uncle Charles. She would provoke and he would react, and then she would point that out and then point out all her good things, and it was horrible. It's horrible. I see it now. I mean, it's a shame, but I see it now. And I hope a lot of you do. I ain't got to say I hope. Let me grab that link for you. Yay. I'm just going to throw it in the chat, but it's for Megan. Okay. You're just eating your Tammy meal. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Everybody go eat a Big Mac tomorrow or today, whatever. In honor of Tammy Daybell. Okay, she was a mom. She was a good mom, and yeah, I'm gonna go do that too. So, and then send your pictures in with you or whatever. I like the little 10-second thing that Nadine did. That was really cool. I did enjoy that. During the trial, like people were sending in their what do you call it? 10 seconds of video. And I mean, we cried. I cried. I laughed. I cried. I rewound it. I watched it again. It was awesome. So I don't know. I'm like, why didn't I think about doing that? Oh, let me type it in. I don't know how today. Ooh, hey. We need like a doorbell. Hey, doorbell. No. Oh, hey. Hey, let me remove this. What are you doing?
I look crazy.
No, you don't. Who looks crazy is your cousin. She looks pretty freaking crazy. You look good.
I'm getting ready to go into Costco on a Saturday. Why? I don't know. I guess I don't like myself very much.
Glutton for punishment, huh?
Yeah, so I'm just sitting here eating my Tammy meal because I don't want to go in.
There you go. I've done this. I do this. This is what I will procrastinate all kinds of things if I don't want to do it.
Oh, I've been procrastinating. I literally mowed my front and backyard twice.
Mm-hmm.
I did my leaf blowing. I posted my video. I sat around and chat in my video.
It's not even afternoon. I mean, it's just a little afternoon, damn it.
I know.
Tackling it.
I know.
That's awesome.
It's just procrastination. That's the only way I get other stuff done.
I don't know any other life. I really don't. I know it drives those around me crazy, but I'm sorry, I think it has a lot to do with the ADHD thing for sure. And then timeline, I don't have the concept of time period. Like, I'm like, what did I do yesterday? I don't know. I sound like Melanie Powski. I don't know what I did yesterday.
Yeah, just don't start asking the other stuffed animals in the room. What did we do yesterday? Right. Did we go to the store? Did we go to our friend's house?
That actually played last night. And Jason, we've heard them so many times now that we're like cynical and snarky as hell. We're both like, we're just like, okay, change it. Just change it.
It's on my watch
Yeah,
list. I've got to watch it again because
it's
I
horrible.
watched the one that you did where the kid was crying in the background. I felt so bad for the poor child.
Uh-huh.
But
I
yeah.
was like, I wonder if she was the one rated dark. I'm just saying,
Oh man.
mommy, I blame her mother, really,
Yeah, I do too, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
I the only thing I wanted to say is that I did that whole video with Joe Schmo yesterday. And then I
Mhm.
realized I didn't say like the most important thing. Lori is filing for a motion for a new trial, but she stipulated to the crime being a dangerous crime. She
Mhm.
stipulated to the whole aggravation phase. So doesn't that sort of call into question her asking for a new trial?
Ooh,
Like she
you
stipulated that it was a
Jason didn't
dangerous
even catch
crime.
that. So,
She stipulated that it caused
ooh.
emotional and financial harm to the victims. She stipulated that there was an accomplice present. I mean, that's basically to me the same as pleading guilty. It might not be in the legal sense, but
No, it
that's
is to me. It wasn't in the
my whole
presence of
thing.
a jury, but they wouldn't be the same jury anyways.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway,
So
I forgot to say that yesterday on my live. I even had it on my notes and I never got around to it. But anyway, that's all.
I'm gonna have to point that out to Jason later and just get his brain going because I'm telling you, he's always 50 million steps ahead of me. I'm like, what? What did you just say? Like, okay, explain
Yeah.
it to me again. Like for real. It's interesting. So that's really a good question. For real.
I mean, I know it's not, technically the same as pleading guilty, but if she stipulates to that, wouldn't that make her case for a new trial kind of weak? I don't know.
She's weak, so
Well, that's true.
yeah. I mean, that's wow. What is everybody and so you forgot to bring that up yesterday?
Yeah, I just, I meant
It's
to
like
make
you
that
can't.
point yesterday and I forgot to. I just had other things that I was talking about.
Northwest says legally not pleading
Yeah, of
guilty.
course. Not legally, right?
I mean, absolutely. And she was like, whatever she did that little maneuver, the Matrix, where he's like, so you want to stipulate? She's like, "Meow." She never just says yes,
Right, right. She
never a
can't
straightforward.
ever answer
Mm-mm.
the question directly. She just
No.
says, "What does the court prefer?"
Right. Yeah. What do you want to eat tonight? I mean, it's like that. So when she says she's a people pleaser, I'm like, is that what you consider people pleasing? Because that's more like just avoidant behavior
It
and then just
infuriates me when she
plotting
says things like that.
wild. I'm learning a lot though, just about what certain things are and what they are not. Behaviors, freaking, you're teaching me about the damn narcissism stuff. It's crazy. And then I
Yeah.
talked to my daughter after I talked to you that night or that day, and she was like, "Oh," I was like, "What do you learn in your psychology class?" And she was like, "Cluster A and B," and I was like, I just sat there and was quiet and
Yep.
just let her tell me. So
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I actually did a little video on her stipulation because I think a lot of people kind of passed over that. And it happened while we were, sitting there in the courtroom waiting for the jury to come in for the
Mhm.
verdict. The judge said, depending on the verdict, you had said you wanted to stipulate. And, she basically just wanted to get the heck out of there, number one. And I think number two, she did not want to hear more testimony from the victims about how this crime affected them.
She don't care, first off.
Right.
And I was thinking earlier, there was a creator that I've just ran across, had never subscribed to, and there was a small chat. There was like 17 people in chat, but anyway, so I had it on after your premiere, and she said something. And so it's when people are going over things, that's when I'm like, oh, I just kind of catch something, and I'm like, I never caught that before, or it might not even be what they're talking about, but I just hear it again in a different time. 6 years
Mhm.
later, I'm still hearing stuff. But
Yeah.
it was how she said, my husband, my husband, my husband. And I'm thinking, oh my God, is this another tactic where Lori distances herself and not really. So she's like manipulating because she's claiming my husband, like she's doting and caring and misses him and whatever. Didn't want him to die, didn't plan his murder, but
Right.
also saying not Charles, because she didn't say Charles as much, except
Yeah,
for when
I
I was
also
watching you break down Nancy Joe. You know, I was like, oh, well, she said Charles a couple times there.
Yeah, but I also think that she wanted the jury to forget that she was married to someone else now.
Yeah.
And I think that she wanted them to see her as a widow rather than as the perpetrator of the crime.
Right.
So, and
The
apparently it worked
victim.
on some people.
Right.
So
Damn.
anyway, that I don't want to interrupt your live. I just wanted to come on to say that because I forgot to say it on my own show.
You bring it on, girl. Thank you, Fancy Nancy. She says, Megan, such a great observation. It really
Oh,
is.
thanks, Fancy Nancy.
Good job. You get a star for today.
Yay, a gold star for me.
I
I'll
mean,
take it.
well, I didn't say gold. I'm just picking.
Oh, okay, just a star. All right, put me in my place. It's okay.
I was watching whenever I think it was yesterday. I think you were, when you were live with Joe, and C. Cheadle, I think, is who said last night was fun on Web Sleuth or whatever. And I was like, oh damn, when you answered, I was like, oh, shit, what the hell? Like nobody was. You were so dead serious too, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I see how she jokes like that. Okay.
No, he didn't even say on Web Sleuth. C. Cheadle just said it was last night was really fun, and I was like, that is really like that's an out there. That's something you don't just leave that in chat and not say anything about it.
It was awesome.
It was funny.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I was there. I mean, I watched. Jason was like, she cold. I was like, she's dead home. I feel it. I get you.
Yeah, it
Comes
was
a
funny.
point.
All right, well, I'll let you go on with your
enjoy
with
your Mother's Day Big Mac.
Oh, thank you.
In honor of Tammy.
That's right. All right, take care, everybody. See ya.
See you later. Well, yes, happy Mama's Day to everybody. I know she doesn't interrupt, huh? She agreed to all, albeit reluctantly, right? Oh, well. That's what I'm saying. Yes, Jermaine, but then actually I'm saying yes, Jermaine, and then I'm thinking at the same time, lightning speed, but then who would they dupe? And I mean, I was part of that too at one time, but that's one of the places where manipulation goes on, or programming, shall I say. That's so fascinating to me though, too, is the whole programming thing. Because I just want to understand it, at least just at the basic level of how this works, because again, there's this book called Program to Kill, and talk about open my eyes to everything, a lot of things, especially in the crime genre. Okay. Let's just say there are a lot of cases that happen, a lot of, crimes that happen that are either orchestrated or somewhat orchestrated or manipulated and played out in the news one way versus the reality of it. And I mean, I can say this for myself because I watched this myself, how there's a lot of whitewashing going on in this case by a certain authoritarian, big voices, who have a good reputation even, but that's not been my experience, and I mean, I'm definitely not of that faith, but it's just super interesting is all I'm saying. And so it's presented one way, and then that's really not the right way, in my opinion. But that's just me. But this is a link for Program to Kill by Dave McGowan. Read it, please, if you don't read anything else. It's interesting, too, because he talks about different crimes from Manson to, I always forget his name, the French guy. But I don't know. It's a French case, and it's a lot of craziness, like what I believe Lori and Chad are a part of. secret society, oh my God, I messed it up. Secret society kind of places people, you know, and it's crazy, but, anyways, all right, let me get on track here. And I also want to tell Detective's daughter, happy early birthday. Joe Schmo, happy late birthday. And then Sue Ellen, I want to tell you happy birthday today. Okay. A lot of May babies. So I'm a fellow Taurian. Yeah, I just uploaded the Jesuit oath. The Jesuit extreme oath of induction. It's like 9 minutes, but it'll make you think and it'll make you pissed off. That's for sure. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you, Ruby. Back at you. Oh, you too. Hey, Eliza Joe, how are you? Thank you. I got my hair cut and a little colored. Just a little bit. I was like, and that's bad when you go into the salon and you're just like, I don't know. She was like, "You have any pictures?" And I was like, "Not really. I haven't really like invested or in my looks or myself, or there was a long time that I don't remember looking in a mirror, at least not close, you know, and that's just such a polar opposite. I used to be the selfie queen, you know, like big time. It's just, everything prioritizes itself, you know, and it's also called all the emotion things, you know, and I just kind of have forgotten what I'm interested in. I'm interested in digging and finding research, you know, researching all these things, but there's this other life outside of this one, you know, that I'm like, oh yeah, in the present, you know, like to be in the present. And it's been a very hard task, you know, because you forget what you love and what, you know, drives you. And so that can be robbed or stolen, you know, from criminals like Lori whore. She's definitely an a-hole. Okay. Let's see. All right. I pulled up some new pictures or whatever, but there's and I wanted to put this right here because this caught my attention too. This was from her case in Idaho. And so Judge Boyce says, I would caution the defendant by insisting on going forward with the trial now. Knowing there is additional evidence they are not prepared to address is a risk. The decision to continue forward without a continuance is a decision only the defendant, with the competent advice of her counsel, can make. Judge Stephen Boyce. And so this is what she did in Idaho too. You know, just gotta go right now. You know, she's obviously taking medicine. She needs to, every time they ask her, she's taking medicine, and she's like, no. And I'm like, need to be. You need to be on some damn medicine. You know. Anyways, all right. So we're gonna read this, and I'm sure you've heard it other places. I have too. So, anyways, I'm not an expert. I'm not even professional. So, we're just gonna go over it. So this says the state of Arizona, through undersigned counsel, requests that this court deny defendant's motion for a new trial, as there was no juror misconduct, no prosecutorial misconduct, no improper exclusion of hearsay testimony, and no lack of impartiality by the court. The state's response is supported by the attached memorandum of facts and authority. I had a hard time. Like, I can get all the other documents off of the damn site, but I have been fiddling with the Maricopa County sites where all this is, you know, and I just have never done it before. And I've always just found out through the grapevine, never applied myself and actually, you know, registered to the court site or learned the court site or whatever. So that's my fault. And I just, here we are at the end. I'm always late, better late than never, they say, but I mean, good God. Here we are at the very last trial, hopefully. And or hopefully not. Hopefully there's more trials. Hopefully there's more damn convicts and or convictions at least, Hopefully. Y'all pray. Good thoughts. Do whatever it is that you do, to bring on just accountability and just it's past time. So anyway, I've ordered some things and so that I've ordered the front court cameras, so hopefully we can see Lori's face and not the back of her head, during her trial here in Arizona. So, hopefully that'll produce something, and it'd be interesting to see for sure. All right, let's go to this. This says Memorandum of Facts and Authority. Facts, law, and argument. There was no juror misconduct. After the verdict, the jurors were released from the admonition and had to face a mob of journalists questioning them as they waited for the bus to take them to their vehicles. Juror number 15, Carl, was one of the jurors who was caught by the media. Juror 15 made multiple statements that were recorded by multiple agencies. Video on YouTube from Idaho News on Demand shows the first contact by the media with Juror 15 as he was exiting the South Court building. See Exhibit A, thumb drive containing YouTube video. All right, and so it says, in this video, there are multiple agencies rushing up to Juror 15. It is clear from the fact that you see the media running up to the juror that this encounter with the media occurred before the video cited by the defense, which was conducted next to the street bus stop. In the initial media contact, one of the media asked Juror 15 and another juror, quote, "Were any of you folks aware that this woman had already been convicted of 3 homicides? Question mark, unquote. Juror 15 responds, quote, no, I did not, unquote. And then there's an Exhibit A, Idaho News at 1:13 minutes into the video, 1:20, whatever. Okay, Juror 15 and another juror are then asked, quote, there's a lot of backstory here, and this woman has already been convicted of 3 homicides, and they obviously didn't want you folks to know that, and nobody knew that during your deliberations. Is that correct? Unquote. Both Juror 15 and the other juror both say no. Okay, I can't click any of these things because we had a hard time finding this document. So I couldn't find it on the damn court site. So hold on just one second. Please. Let's see. All right. Move. All right. I read that one. Okay. Just making sure. Huh. What egg? I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it. It's going to be like 2 seconds. And that's not on that one. So negative, Ghost Rider. All right. We'll just go with the court filing. Okay. We'll keep it simple because I like to complicate things a great deal. Hey Joe, what's up? Happy late birthday. Happy late birthday. You've got all the docs. How the hell do you do that? Yeah, I thought you could read my mind. I did. I thought you could read my mind. Just like I thought Donna could too. Yeah, why ask a juror a question like that though? I get it, I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I mean, it's just one of those where I mean, just being honest, it doesn't feel so innocent to me. Like, not that it was like intentional, but that it looks more like a slip up than a misspeak, like misspeaking. But I mean, that's just me, because I'm just like, well, did he? Did he know before? And I mean, whatever, do whatever, but just be honest. And I'm not saying he's dishonest. I'm just saying that's all you got to do. He did vote to convict her, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. However, I mean, these are the risks, and I think maybe better juror education or preparation or some kind of little speedy talk afterward, right before you let them go. Just a friendly reminder of what you're about to walk into, whether I don't care if it's a big trial, it shouldn't matter. It should go just across the board for everybody, everything, because, right? It's supposed to be fair, but, and yeah, being a juror isn't easy, especially this case, this case is crazy. And I mean, I felt bad already for what they were going to walking out of the courtroom, walking out of their jury duty, being released from that and walking straight into, oh my God, like it gives me chills because it's just like, that's heavy. That is so heavy. And I feel for them. I do so bad. And see, it's like I didn't have this understanding or this awareness of jury, members, jurors, and their duties and how important it is. I just knew there was a judge, a jury, and then defense. I didn't know much about, a court of law and how it operated and all the filings. I never really understood it all, especially in the beginning of this, but I've understood more and more with each and every step of this, just like you, like, I don't know. It's just, I just never realized that, and not many people have the opportunity to go through 3 freaking trials already. And just, it's like each one is different from the last one. And so you can never really just say, oh, this is what to expect, because it changes. I mean, totally. I didn't know how Trina K was going to do this with all the rules, like I was like, what the hell? It's fascinating to me. Like, it really taught me a lot this time. Like, I guess I paid more attention to that this time. And I think it's interesting. I really do. I think it's a very important job. And I used to I've never been called for jury duty, but I always was like, oh, I'll just make an excuse. And, like, I don't want it. But I've changed my mind on that. I would want to, I'd want to do my duty. But who? Okay. Okay. I don't know what to do. Who is that? Okay. It's like all right. I see. All right. And done. All right. Got it. Okay. Whew. I'm so sorry. Hold on, I'm just kind of checking. Hey, Robbie. What's up, dude? Maybe wake a place to put all files on mormon.ly. I need to do a website now. Okay. I'm ready to do a website. And I want it launched. I want it done before this trial is over. I got to have me a place to put everything. But anyway, and then Maria Howard says, honestly, I think the judge needs to speak with juror. I do understand the fact that he could have misspoken. I definitely have done that as I've gotten older. High stress, word vomit. Unfortunately, I do that every time I speak. I swear. And it's not on purpose. It's just like, sometimes I'm like, oh, you know better. I feel like it's a form of Tourette's or something. I'm being serious. Like, I don't know. So yeah, just compassion, as long as it's not intentional. And I don't feel like it was, but just a little more self-awareness, a little more but I mean, all that information overload, I mean, I sit here and I think about it all and it's just, there's so many different aspects of it. Plus your real life, plus just your real life, real life can be stressful. And, yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, so let's continue after that derailment, right? I'm very good at the derailments. So it says, I don't know if I read this already because that's how I'm like Dory, y'all, on the damn I'm Finding Nemo. Juror 15 was very clear in this immediate contact with the media that he did not know about the defendant's prior criminal history prior to reaching a verdict. Now, another thing real quick is I had always thought that Lori had 5 life sentences. Okay, 5. Not just 1. Okay. Or not just 3. There were 5. Just 3 were consecutive. And Judge Boyce did that because of the way that they chose their victims, how they murdered them on 3 separate dates, 3 separate occasions. I mean, all the things, right? And so when Judge Boyce was factoring that into his sentencing, the day she was sentenced, he said that because of that, he did 3 life sentences consecutive. And then there were, I don't know where the other 2 came from. And so I found it, and I mean, take it for what it's worth. It was on KSL website not long ago. And I was like, well, there it is. I wasn't looking for it, but it just, yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't looking for it. And I was like, see, it did, I'm not crazy, because it was 5 life sentences. But then it's like the majority of people started going at 3. So then I just kind of went with the flow. And, so, I mean, to be technical, if it is 5 life sentences, then it couldn't possibly be the 3 that matches Carl's statement. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I just know it's multiple. Oh, yeah, there you go. Or just do one the way you eat it, and just let's honor it to Tammy for sure. I think it's awesome. I think that's cool, that Megan was doing that. Well, hugs back, Vienna. Yeah, hugs from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Girl, we in the Kuna state. I should go get me some boiled crawfish and eat them right here in front of y'all. And then not to, you know what I mean, but the crawfish, people freak out about them. They're like, had its share of profile cases. I'm so surprised there wasn't more jury prepping before releasing them into the wild. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's you can only sentence to MD. Okay. Or conspiracy to murder, not both. I have to think about things like, well, there were fraud counts too. I don't know if that's what, man, now I'm curious. How many life sentences did Lori Vallow freaking Daybell get sentenced? Ooh. And Idaho. Idaho. Come on, just tell me in the damn description. I don't want to have to open anything up. And see, a lot of people are saying multiple life sentences instead of just 3 or 5, so it's like, what? And I mean, that's just technicality. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would give prosecution an argument and be like, it was 5 sentences, so it couldn't have been that, well, they don't make this easy, do they? Anyways, but I did see it on a KSL website, but then again, that's owned by the church, so take it for what it's worth. Oh, you did? I didn't. I couldn't get it, Maria. I need you. To search. Lori Vallow Daybell also received life sentences for conspiracy to commit murder in the deaths of JJ and Tylee, as well as grand theft by deception related to financial crimes. And Tammy, right? Tammy, wait, 3 life sentences for each of her Idaho victims. And then I guess Social Security. And then, 3 consecutive life sentences for the murders of her children, Tylee and JJ, and conspiracy to murder Tammy. And then 2 additional life sentences and a 10-year sentence for grand theft. So that's 6? No. Ray Boyd says, yes, it was 5, 3 consecutive, 2 concurrent. Okay. Crazy, huh? So anyway, yeah. So that's cool, right? I mean, at least it's like the technicality thing. Thank you, Donna. And thank you, Maria Howard. Appreciate it. And Ray Boyd and everybody. We're just trying to get it straight, right? Did you hear one of the jurors say the judge urged them after the verdict and while still in jury room to Google? Yeah. I don't know the protocol. It seemed to be really laxed over there. Again, like in Idaho, it's like there was a red carpet laid out for, and I mean, that was my only court experience as far as going through this as a family member, versus over here in Arizona, they're like, next, next, you're just a damn number. Like, it's not like, oh, here's your own judge, pretty much. Here's your own, I mean, really, it was so, I don't know I haven't really put that to words yet. Put words to it yet. Just how it seemed really focused wholly on Lori and Chad, but maybe they're that good. I don't know. But over in Arizona, I mean, they're just like, and, pretty laid back, but not laid back in the sense. They're just quick. They're come on, time is money, and I mean, she did want a speedy trial, right? Yeah. The judge released the jury from their admonition before he dismissed them, and he went back and thanked them. So they could have Googled it as they were walking out of the jury box for the last time. Damn. Oh, you mean technically or legally or, yeah, all the things, I guess. You want to come up, Joe? You can come on up. I like banter instead. I do. Not considered fair to sentence murder and conspiracy to commit consecutive. But Judge, look, I'm gonna pull that up because Judge Boyce, he did that and he said why he did it. Oh my gosh, I had it pulled up, but now I don't. Judge Boyce sentences Lori freaking Vallow Daybell. All right, let's see. Videos, not images. Come on. Okay. So scared it's gonna be loud. I never know if it's like East Idaho News or something, and it's like whew, with that stupid little. I don't like that loud thing in the very beginning of East Idaho News's videos. Freaking scare me with my PTSD. All right. So we'll watch this for a second. Let me grab the transcript while I'm right here so I can kind of hone in on it. All right. I got to figure out which word I'm going to use. Control F. That's probably not a good word. Victims. There's going to be a lot. Yep. Right here. I went right to it. Dang. You go, girl. Okay, let me just start here. Oh, scoot up. All right, ready?
You're sentenced to the custody of the State Board of Corrections to serve the maximum allowed sentence, a fixed determinate term of life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. Finally, the court will address count 7, which is the charge of grand theft. On that charge,
Wish they'd have made her
court is
stand
going
up.
to sentence you to a fixed determinate term of 5 years of prison, followed by an indeterminate term of 5 years of prison, for a total 10-year term of imprisonment on the grand theft. Court will next consider whether sentences should be imposed consecutively or concurrently.
Yeah, true.
I generally don't.
Do
I'm
it.
a pragmatic person, and I've struggled with the point of a consecutive sentence when in Idaho, a life sentence is just that, a life sentence without parole. And I've thought it through.
I'm going to smoke.
However, when I looked at this case and the more I thought about it, I've determined that because there are 3 separate murders with 3 separate victims that occurred at 3 separate times, then running counts concurrently would not serve the interests of justice, because those crimes all need to be taken into account separately and distinctly and individually. And you need to be held accountable separately for each of the 3 murders. So,
ooh, put that nose down,
on those
girl.
counts, the court will run consecutively.
It would be
The
Stacey.
count 2 murder of Tylee Ryan, consecutive to count 4, the murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow, and count 5 will run consecutive to count 2 and 4, the conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell. So 3 consecutive life terms of prison. The remaining counts will be concurrent to the counts that are consecutive. Okay. The court will impose fines as requested by the state in the amount of $25,000 for all counts except the grand theft. On the grand theft, the fine will be in the amount of $1,000.
Yeah, you mean
the court will assess the civil penalty that was requested, and I find it's appropriate under Idaho Code 195307 of $5,000 per victim on each of the 3 victims as a civil penalty.
Take that out your
And then
commentary.
finally, the restitution, which was requested by the state. Mr. Wood, if you could reiterate that number, 22,000 of what the restitution term is.
Anyway.
And I want to inquire if there's any other restitution being sought by the state.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe I said 22,545. And the state would ask for an additional 30 days to submit any further restitution for the victims, living victims who have been deemed as such by this court.
The court will assess that restitution on the grand theft charge of $22,545 as shown through the evidence at trial. And the court will allow 30 days for additional restitution requests, but that will be waived if it's not submitted timely.
Mm-hmm.
That'll conclude the court's sentencing on the charges. Mr. Thomas, do you have any questions on the sentence?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Wood, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, counsel, before we conclude, and Ms. Vallow, importantly, I need to advise you of the rights you have now. You do have the right to appeal to the Idaho Supreme Court from this judgment of
And I
conviction.
pulled that up yesterday.
And you have a right to be represented by an attorney if you appeal. You're also advised if you can't afford an attorney, an attorney will be appointed for you at public expense, and you only have 42 days to file an appeal. You also have the right to seek relief from my judgment under Idaho Criminal Rule 35. You have 120 days to file that motion if you believe a correction or reduction of this sentence is appropriate because it was either illegal or too harsh. And finally, you may also have rights to seek relief under the Idaho Uniform Post-Conviction Relief Act. Those actions have to be filed within 1 year from the day your right to appeal expires. Do you understand those appellate rights? All right, she acknowledged yes. The defendant will be required to submit DNA samples upon remand to the Idaho Department of Corrections. I'll ask the attorneys to please turn in any copies of the pre-sentence investigation reports or addenda so those can be kept in confidence and additional copies will be destroyed. And Ms. Vallow Daybell, you are hereby remanded to the custody of the Sheriff of Fremont County to be delivered to the proper authorities of the Idaho Department of Corrections for execution of this sentence.
Amen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That'll conclude our sentencing hearing.
Well, that was awesome, Judge Boyce. Yeah, so, okay. Let me close that out. Ooh, hello. All right. So, yeah, okay. I got some clarity with that. Me, started in the middle, go back to the beginning. Are you serious? I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, I started where it said, talking about the sentencing. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Joe. I'm so not quick on the buttons here, but I'll try. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Dang, that is service. What a smile. I can't believe you were watching boiling crawfish videos. I mean, you just drive around right here right now at, it's crawfish season, and you can smell the places, boil and go places. And we have strawberry, like we have daiquiri shacks and daiquiri bars or whatever that are drive through, and all they do is take a piece of masking tape and they tape the top of the lid, and it is no longer an open container. So anyways, yeah, a lot of Catholics around here, and Catholics are drinkers. I don't care. Let's see. Grand jury indictment. Okay, what order do these go? Okay, last month. What? Oh, okay, I see the dates there. Okay, I see. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, I found these. I'm going to have to call you later or something and see how the hell you find. I couldn't find the state's response, so I don't know where the hell you find that. Like, I've pulled this up for anybody who wants to know. I was able to pull up the 1242 or the, Brandon's case, right? Isn't that usually the case number? That's anyways. And so I've looked under, the other case number, the one that she just was found guilty for. Can't find it. It's like, it just keeps resetting or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell? So it only, has these two right here. Anyways, so that's what that was why I was late today. And it's my fault still, not making excuses. But anyway, so this was 5/8/2025 at 8:00 in the morning. And this is State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell. And it's a minute entry. Yeah. And it says, it is ordered directing the defendant to file an updated list of witnesses specific to this case to be included in the questionnaire to be sent out to potential jurors no later than May 14th, 2025. That is surely approaching. I wonder if it's going to be, and I mean, okay, so I remember Trina K asking Lori, or no, not directly, but she was asking, I'm trying to find it. I think I had it pulled up. Hold on. Hold, please. Witnesses. Oh. Control F. What the heck? I don't even know what I just did. I probably pushed some kind of control or shift something that didn't belong. Okay. Now, witness. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Let's see. No. What the heck is it? Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the right one pulled up. My bad. I thought I had it together. Should have known better. Anyway, so I remember them bringing this up the day that they did the verdict or whatever. And the state was asking if Lori was going to have the same list of witnesses, for this next trial. And anyways, so I remember seeing that. And then, all right. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so like out of it. So yeah, by May 14th, the previously filed notice of witnesses and exhibits filed by the defendant on March 6, 2025 was filed under both cause numbers, and it is not clear which witnesses are applicable to which case. Additionally, given the defendant chose not to call any of her noticed witnesses in this case number, further clarification is required as to which witnesses may be applicable to this case. So that's that. Thank you again, Joe. Appreciate it. And then let's try this one. Oh yeah, here's the big one, huh? No? Yep. Okay. Sorry. So this is filing date 5/6/2025. And the state of Arizona, in the Superior Court of the state of Arizona. Okay, I was making sure I had my thing right. Okay. The state's response to defendant's motion for new trial. So this says the state of Arizona, through undersigned counsel, requests this court deny defendant's motion for new trial, as there was no juror misconduct, no prosecutorial misconduct, no improper exclusion of hearsay testimony, and no lack of impartiality by the court. The state's response is supported by the attached memorandum of facts and authority. And so submitted May 6, 2025. And this says memorandum of facts and authority, facts, law, and argument. A, there was no juror misconduct. After the verdict, the jurors were released. I already said all this earlier, but I'm going to just do it. Okay. After the verdict, the jurors were released from the admonition and had to face a mob of journalists questioning them as they waited for the bus to take them to their vehicles. Juror number 15 was one of the jurors who was caught by the media. Juror 15 made multiple statements that were recorded by multiple agencies. Video on YouTube from Idaho News on Demand shows the first contact by the media with Juror 15 as he was exiting the South Court building. And in this video, there are multiple media agencies rushing up to Juror 15. It is clear from the fact that you see the media running up to the juror that this encounter with the media occurred before the video cited by the defense, which was conducted next to the street/bus stop. In the initial media contact, one of the media asked Juror 15 and another juror, quote, "Were any of you folks aware that this woman had already been convicted of 3 homicides, unquote. Juror 15 responds, quote, no, I did not, unquote. And so let me go here. Thank you, Joe. And it says 1 minute 23, I think. We'll start it here. So I know you guys have watched this other places, but you're watching it with me, and so thank you.
This woman had already
I got
right on it.
Guilty or not guilty, what does she have to lose? So
were any of you folks aware?
What does she have to lose? That's another weird one.
I had never been heard. I've never heard
3
of her.
homicides.
Yeah, no,
and
I've
the
never
jurors
heard of
did
her
not
before.
know that.
No, I did not.
And nobody brought it.
And ma'am, would you want to come in and talk too? Do you want to say anything?
Just what was your experience? There's a lot of backstory here, and this woman had already been convicted of 3 homicides, and they obviously didn't want you folks to know that. And nobody knew that during your deliberations.
No.
Is that correct?
No.
Correct.
Well,
What was this experience like for you?
Hit him up.
It was sad, as he said. For me, it was the text messages that did it, as far as the evidence.
Okay.
And I feel like we uncovered some lies.
All right. When she said that, I feel like we've uncovered some lies. I was like, oh God, just wait till you find out more. You don't even know the half of it. You don't even know a quarter. It's crazy. And I feel for their journeys, man. I really do. And I would like to talk to any of them. I would like to talk to any of them that, would want to talk, I think, I don't know. It's just, I feel like that's asking too much, I guess, because it becomes real. It becomes real, and I don't want this to affect anybody else's life because it sucks. Anyways, juror 15 and another juror are then asked, there is a lot of backstory here, and this woman has already been convicted of 3 homicides, and they obviously didn't want you folks to know that. And nobody knew that during your deliberations. Is that correct? Both juror 15 and the other juror both say no. And then it says Exhibit A, blah, 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 129. Who's that? Joe. Hey.
Hey
What's
there.
up?
Can
What's
you
up,
hear me
dog?
fine?
Just for you. Yes.
Okay, good.
So, you brought some crawfish or what?
Right. No, you're supposed to bring me crawfish.
Yeah, no, you haul your ass here. I buy, you fly.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. You don't want me to bring them up there. Trust me, that won't be as good.
Yeah, there aren't that many crawfish here in Arizona.
Not even at the Chinese restaurants or.
Oh, they probably do, yeah. But they have to fly them.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, they're always gritty. I'm like, oh, gross. Nothing like a gritty crawfish. Somebody was asking for Megan's channel, and so it's right here if anybody, for that person. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, the crawfish boil I watched this morning was very educational because they show you how to rinse them out and get the grit out of them and get, clean out the mud vein and all that before. Yep, purge. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I went to CVS earlier, and I could see a crawfish bowl at a house that I passed. I was like, good. Oh yeah, they're having Mother's Day, crawfish. My birthday was always, it's May 3rd. And so we always have this, it used to be called Contraband Days. It's a festival that we have every year. And so my birthday was always in the middle of it, So when I was a kid, it really sucked. But then as I've gotten older, I just was like, hey, let's take the birthday party to Contraband. But now it's called like the Pirate Fest or something. I haven't been in years. And, but this is the season, when your crawfish bowls, Mother's Day. I mean, it just is that time of year. My birthday, the festival. I mean, it's just.
Crasha.
Yes.
I invited Joe up here to help you. He didn't just come up here to tell you something.
Oh no, I didn't.
I wanted you to know that. I wanted you to know that he was not. That I invited him.
I asked him initially, and I went back in the comments to see, and I didn't see anything, so I
was working on getting that Dropbox thing all ready. I can only do one thing at a time sometimes.
Me too. So here's Joe Schmo's channel. Please subscribe to him. He's an awesome dude, and he had a pretty dog right here.
Yeah, I miss my Charlie. Yeah. I was thinking about going to the shelter this weekend just to get a little bit of fur baby time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You can just go love on them?
Yes. Yep. They will let you do that.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But the problem is if I fall in love with one, I'm not in a position to adopt one right now.
And you can't say no, huh?
Right.
Or you'd have to. Yeah, you'd have to figure that out. And who wants to put, yeah. I'm like, I know me. So if you know you, then you can't handle it, then definitely don't. But it's such a beautiful dog. What kind of dog is that? Was he?
He's a mix. He is a shelter rescue, by the way. But he's probably part Corgi and maybe part wire-haired terrier because his markings were like a wire-haired terrier's. And when his fur got really, really long, it would get squiggly and wiry. So wow. I think that's what it is.
Oh wow, that's really cool. I've never been a pet person, although I've had pets. I can remember a few, but like my mom wasn't one of those that, I don't know, we just weren't pet people. I had fish, I had pigs, that it was like my grandparents' like farm. It was like my grandma would pick me up and then we'd go to the farm and I'd be like helping her, quote unquote, but I'd really be like sitting with the chicks, and petting them, and I'd help her get the eggs and stuff. But And then they told me these are your pets, and then it was a lie. It was all a lie. Anyway, so I just never would get close.
He was my BFF. I couldn't help it. Like, so actually my son adopted him out of the shelter. He was probably about 6 months old when he was adopted. And then my son moved out of state. He moved to California. And he's like, I can't take him with me. So, but Charlie and I had an instant bond. And over the years, he and I flew tens of thousands of miles together. He became my actual service dog, not just like an emotional support dog, but my service dog. He knew when I was getting ready to have a PTSD incident, and he would be right there by my side. And he always just wanted to be right there by my side. And anytime he got left at home and I left, he would literally sit at the door and stare at the door until I would come home.
That's so sweet. I mean, they just know. And so, yeah, Detective's daughter and her husband opened up their home to me whenever I went to Boise for Lori's trial. I was there the entire time, but I had a hotel, and it was just I isolate. I just tend to do that, especially after all this PTSD and stuff. It's just I find it very heavy to be in a courtroom for sure with Lori, with all this stuff. It's like I want to be there, but I cannot be in there because it's heavy, and I feel like I'm gonna jump out of my skin. But I also have a traumatic experience in a courtroom, when I was like 12, and holy crap, I think that plays out today, even because I avoid them if I can. But anyways, but her and her husband opened up their home, and they had a dog named Winnie, and I called her Weenus. Okay. And then, she passed away this year, and I don't know, but it's like I attract animals, even though I'm just like, no, I'm not a pet person. It's like, I just don't want to turn that on because it's like something else I have to lose. I know that makes sounds so mean and cruel, but
no, it's not though. And I mean, Charlie passed away last July 25th. We were in Florida at a conference together, and he got really, really sick really, really fast. And I took him to the vet, and they found a mass inside, and the mass was pressing on his lungs, and he actually had a collapsed lung, and he was just really suffering.
Yeah.
So I had
to, terrible.
Yeah, you got to say goodbye at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks, but I'm sorry for your loss again.
But I'm thankful for the memories that we had together, because we had a lot of good memories together. Very, very, very good memories. Yeah. He went to the Grand Canyon with me. I mean, several national parks, like in Utah, Arizona area. Yeah.
That's awesome. I've enjoyed what is going on? Donna. Oh, who's doing this? Is that you, Joe, that's doing it? Or must be, it has to be Donna, because we're on my thing, right?
I have no power over that.
No.
Oh, that's my dog, girl.
No,
no. Don't get that dog, girl. Oh my God. Holy crap, Donna. That's awesome. Holy crap. Can you imagine? That's wild. Okay. Hey, Donna, do you know you're back here? Yeah. It's like with JJ's dog, the service dog, Bailey, he was a support dog. I don't care what Summer says. Summer's like, that dog was more for Charles. And I'm like, do you hear yourself, lady? Anyways, that's just one drop in the bucket, but
that was a palate cleanser.
Thank you. Oh, we love palate cleansers. Yeah, I don't know how to use them myself. I'm trying. Let's see. Now I got to put this back on. I'm sorry. No, it's my first day. Did you know?
Then it's my half day. My first half day.
There you go. Okay. So this says a few days into after the verdict, Juror 15 participated in an hour-long interview with Lauren Matthias for her podcast, Hidden True Crime.
Isn't that crazy how now, like, YouTube social media is becoming a part of court filings? And this isn't the first time, but
Yeah.
it still blows my mind. I mean, she's called out specifically personally,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in a court filing by the state.
I want to say she was in Idaho too. I just don't remember exactly what for, you know, but yeah, I remember when I was watching the Diddy case go down, I saw a creator that I was following, you know, show up in court filing. I was like, oh crap. That's pretty big.
And Karen, Turtle Boy and Karen Reed has become
That
a huge
too.
part of that case.
I don't even I can't even follow that case because I'm like, it's too confusing and I'm so in the thick of this, you know? So it's like, I can't loan out any brain space.
We only have so much bandwidth. So we got to pick and choose sometimes.
Yeah. That's why I didn't really notice at first the Delphi case. I knew what the girls looked like because I'd see them on other thumbnails, just like I knew what Gannon Stout looked like, Summer Wells, you know, but all these were happening in Baby Evelyn, you know, at those times, but I could only focus on our case. And that was hard. I used to feel really bad when I would like say not interested or whatever, just to kind of keep the algorithm focused on the Vallow Daybell case. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, little kid, you know, like, I'm so sorry. But I mean, as my brain has opened up, I guess, or I don't know how to put that eloquently, but as time has gone on and I've found more and more time, like I started following the Delphi case only, like I knew what Richard Allen looked like. I didn't know like all the things, you know, I just like, whatever, see him on thumbnails and stuff.
Yeah. It's YouTube develops in us a squirrel syndrome, like a lab. Think about a lab in a park and think about a lab in a park and he sees a squirrel and he goes and chases a squirrel. YouTube says, okay, here's 4 more squirrels to chase. You know, if
and
you
then
can
I
ignore
hunt
that,
the squirrels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, exactly. So if you can tune out that first squirrel and just stay focused on, you know, doing whatever you were there in the park to do.
Well, I view that's hilarious. Just saying. That's how dorky I am too. Okay. Summer's not my favorite. I'm more of a fall girl. And I'll just say, you grow, girl. You grow, girl. Okay. All right. I'm done nerding out. But like I started like following, you know, Hidden True Crime was covering it and I didn't really know anybody else, you know, I just, whatever, I'm just here. And so, I mean, as far as that, but I can't wait to get into that with you one day, not today, but one day. Cause I mean, it's just, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah,
and I mean, I have a different view than I think Lauren does, you know, so it's like weird because I like followed her reporting on it.
Right. That's where I first met her and Grayson was in Delphi.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured so. Yeah, I think I'm like kind of, what am I going to do after this? You know, there's not going to be this build up, you know, preparing for the next one. Like tomorrow's live stream I have scheduled is preparing for Brandon's trial, or I'm calling it Brandon's trial because Lori has too many effing trials. Okay.
Right.
Lord. So, I mean, that's been my go-to is to focus on the next. So I'm like, what are we going to do? What am I going to do after that as far as focusing my attention? I guess I need to get that lawsuit whipped up and, you know, get that going. And then I think because of the lawsuit, I'll be structuring that lawsuit the way that I have, then I can, it pours into the bone structure or whatever of a book. You know, never wanted to write a book. I hated reading books, first off. Never was a fan. And then now it's all I do is read. And there's no way to get it out in one live stream. And so I always
Well,
feel unfulfilled.
you and I have just a history of that, just in like 6 Tuesday night episodes. There's no way to get it all out in one live stream.
No,
or 2
it
or
took
5.
us 6 live streams just to get to the damn pace memo. And I mean, and we're still not done. I'm not done. So
Right. No, that's just one element of that whole crazy thing.
yeah, there's different aspects as far as like the Salt Lake Tribune, or I'm sorry, the Salt Lake Messenger by the Tanners who covered it and like were there at that time. And, you know, they explain what happened, all the things that were going on. Then they go into Freemasonry, they go into ritualistic crimes. They get different experts or, you know, people with experience about these things. Like this was a 104-page PDF that I found that, I mean, it is phenomenal to me. I'm like, what the hell? I've always seen this cover, but I was like, oh, I'm not buying it, you know, or I couldn't afford it at the time or whatever the reason. And I was like, I found this probably last week or the week, maybe week or two ago. And I mean, I'm like, holy crap. Yes. And so this was back in the, in the 1992 digital version, 2024. And I mean, it goes into the sex, blood magic or whatever, the dark magic practice, you know, all the things. And it attaches it back to Joseph Smith and the founding of the church and all that good stuff. So
they leapfrogged off of the Glenn Pace memo.
They did.
Okay.
And they filled in a lot of context. And I'm like, holy crap. Thank you. You know, like, I mean, I've always wanted to meet Sandra Tanner. Gerald Tanner passed away, but I mean, I'm just like, thank you, you know, like for all your hard work. And I mean, it's needed and it's needed. And I mean, think about like, there is the second anointing, you know, that I believe that Chad and Lori took part
35,
in.
baptized by blood.
Oh, well, hello.
You got to change that to your own voice.
I know. That sounds like, I forget. Ice tea or something. Ice Cube. I don't know. One of those. Ice tea, I think. But anyways, but I mean, here I found, you know, the second anointing and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm probably making y'all sick. But right here, and I'm like, I'm reading it just to see because what's going on? It's something along those lines for sure. And it ain't happening on my watch. Okay. It's just, I'm done. And there's too many people that get hurt off this stuff from beliefs. Beliefs are a killer. Okay. They can be. And they drive people to do a lot of really dumb and really hurtful things. And it's very interesting to me, you know,
Yeah. And
your cognitive dissonance thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, cognitive dissonance. So
yeah. Yeah. And I in this case in particular, I always go back to the way that Lori and Alex were raised. Mm-hmm. And it just seems odd to me that everybody besides mom and sister has said that they just had a weird family vibe, like inappropriate touching and all of that stuff. And I'm like, that didn't just happen with Lori and Alex. Like, and that's, you know, I'm only pointing them out because that's a part of this case, but those generational curses have to be broken one way or another.
Right. And I mean, that applies to everybody. So it's like I've learned a lot about my own life just through researching this case and all the elements of it. I'm like, oh, yeah. You know, if you do introspection, then, you know, that's kind of what happens. I've had my own awakenings of all kinds, you know.
Right. I think we all have, if we're intelligent and loving human beings, then at some point in time, we have to realize that at some time in our past, we weren't always intelligent and loving human beings, or we endured some type of trauma that we didn't see as trauma
exactly
when it occurred.
And it is generational, and I'm not ignorant to that. I didn't know it existed. I'm like, what? And there are curses, and I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know about the that's another thing I sit on the fence about is, well, but they believe it. And then I'm like, well, how come all the nefarious people believe in this stuff? Yet, when you believe as above, so below, right? When you believe in God or a higher power that's good, I guess you could say, then people pick that apart too. And anyways, it's just interesting. I just find very philosophical and could go on and on and on for days. But anyways, do you think Lori will have Melanie Powski take the stand for her?
For her?
I mean, in her behalf.
I think that could open up doors. Again, talking about open up doors, like the whole reason that she didn't go down that one road with who was it that she asked, and then the judge says, "Do you really want to ask that?" Oh, it was Nancy Jo.
Nancy Jo. Yeah.
Nancy Jo. She asked Nancy Jo, "So did you talk about me?" No, she said, "What all did you talk about during that date?" And the judge is like, "Are you sure you want to open that door?" And Lori's like, "Well, I got a bunch more questions for her, so let's just take a lunch break now." And the judge is like,
"Yeah, damn it,
more." And
why
then
we just didn't go?
Yes, we come back from lunch. We come back from lunch, and she's like, "Forget I asked that last question." And then she only asked like 15 more minutes of questions. So it's like, did we really need to take a lunch break then? No, you just needed to reconsider opening that door.
She was like the Kool-Aid man. She was like, "Oh yeah," She and I think Lori, she just said it kind of low, but she said, "How else am I supposed to find things out or find out things or whatever the hell she said?"
Yep.
And I found this again. I keep forgetting. And so whenever me and my mom in 2008, we went to Vegas. Okay, I would not fly in airplanes. I had an uncle pass away. Him and there were 7 members on board. Their plane or his plane crashed in Joplin, Missouri when they were trying to land back in 2001. And so, I mean, I just I didn't go places. I didn't fly anywhere ever before that. So it wasn't I was just like, yeah, I'm never getting on a plane. And then, after that happened and, so my mom was like, "Anywhere you want to go? Do you want to go to Italy? Where do you want to go? I'll buy. You fly, And I'm just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. And then we showed up. I finally gave in and we went to Vegas. I don't gamble. And so we went to Planet Hollywood and we ran into Uncle Charles and Lori. And I was like, what the hell? Are you sure you didn't know this? I mean, it was crazy.
Wow.
Just crazy.
What a picture. That is a crazy picture.
It is. I was like, yeah, it's like a half-ass picture, pretty much. So, yeah, I'd taken one with Uncle Charles, and then I also took one with her. And no, she did not have her damn undergarments on. You right, girl? You right? Speaking of, I'm sorry, y'all. This is one of those things where Uncle Charles was he was meeting with one of the police officers when he was pleading for his life, or I'm sorry, his wife, and then his life ultimately. And let me pull it up. Charles Vallow. I don't know. It caught me again. This is 6 years later. And I'm like, oh yeah, wow. Okay. There's that, oh, here's the one of me and Uncle Charles. Let me take that one down. Oh, I'm getting lost back here.
Okay, before you take that, okay, you already took it down. It's okay though. It's okay because maybe she had an off the shoulder garment that she was wearing. Yeah, maybe
not supposed to show shoulders either.
Well, maybe she
especially
I just
noticed this too.
Yeah, yep.
She's shouldering it there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's going to the temple almost every single day. And
here you go. Ask your bishop if the second anointing is right for you. Calling election made sure, guaranteed. Straight up. I can't take credit for that line. I got it off Reddit, Mormon Reddit, ex-Mormon Reddit. Yeah. So she's definitely not wearing one here. Just throwing that in there. I mean, that's just what I have right here on tap. So,
well, he's not wearing his either.
She's the Lord's favorite.
He wasn't wearing his either.
Oh,
I think you can take them off to go swimming though, right?
Well,
I think there are exceptions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she didn't have to repent anymore. So she didn't have to wear garments anymore.
Right. She didn't need special protection because she had it.
She still has it. Rumor has it. I'll say, wait, where am I going? Right. I hate that she said that. What the hell? I'm lost back here. Okay. Where did it go? I feel so. Oh, there it is. Okay. No, that's not it. I keep going back to the home screen. I'm losing it.
It's okay.
This happened to me before we came on. Huh?
We'll wait till you find it.
Right.
We're good.
I appreciate it. I'm always appreciative of patience. Oh my gosh. Whatever. I don't know how to give up. So I was about to say I'm gonna give up. I mean, it can't be far. Okay, there it is. I found my way out of a wet paper bag. Right. Okay. Said me never. All right. Oh, another thing I found too. God, I've been finding some stuff. Let's see. Uncle Charles. Sorry, when I save to Google Photos, it'll save it like 2 to 4 times, sometimes more, and I'm like, oh, this is good. Watch, I did. I turn it off. Oh no, I didn't do it. But see how they're holding hands, Tylee and Uncle Charles. Oh, yep. Removed her is what I did. Watch. Oh man. I was trying to fix the picture.
Oh. Fixed it.
But see, I got rid of the scratches too. It's not a good picture. But it is, because it doesn't have her in it anymore. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's not gonna be far. I do take a lot of screenshots. Oh my gosh, I do a lot of, see, look, every color.
I'm kind of getting a little view inside your mind there, scrolling through all of these.
Oh yeah, it's just see, but I'm open. I know it looks crazy, but I'm not crazy.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
I'm just telling you, damn it. I'm not crazy. Not anymore. Anyways, it was not, and I told you it saves duplicates and stuff. Okay. But still, it's still excessive. All right. He's wearing the shirt. I could just tell you what it has, but then it wouldn't be the same, you know? So it's the nighttime, whenever he's talking to the policeman at night. Oh, come the hell on. I probably passed it 15 times already.
So I see some of the Gilbert PD clips in there right there. Yeah, you're getting, but that's not at night. That's during the day.
Right. Here's the whole video, but that'll take too long to find it. Even longer than this. Okay. Nighttime. And I save them over and over and over again because try and find something. And then I just make it worse. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, maybe they're not in there anymore. I don't know. Come on, nighttime, Uncle Charles pics. My goodness. Now I'm way embarrassed now.
Yeah, I don't think she'll call any witnesses or present any evidence because she's got to have her witness list by the 14th. So that's 4 days from today. That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's Wednesday. So I'll be at the hearing Wednesday, and I guess we'll see, if she has her witness list together. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Oh. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, if she does, everybody ducked and dodged. also. Like they were trying not to get served.
Yep.
That's bad. When your own damn family don't want to, but then they run their mouths on social media. I don't get it. Oh, and somebody, I think Beach Bum after, okay, so when me and you were live Tuesday and then I got struck off, power went out. And so I inadvertently left the stream early. And I saw a text message from Beach Bum saying something about, I didn't really understand it. And I asked for clarification, but I never went back to look. But something about 2020 or something had came, I don't know. Janice in a new interview, and I was like, what? You know, and then so I was watching Colby last night, and someone commented that there was a new 48 hours or 2020 or whatever the hell that came out. And so I went looking for it, and I didn't find nothing. Okay, I'm about to. This sucks. Oh, wait, we must. Hold on. Come on. Is this a video? Oh yeah. Okay. I'm like, or is this just a screenshot and I'll be stuck at it, like sitting at a stop sign, you know, you're sitting there and you're like waiting on it to turn green. All right. My channel. My name is Cresha K. Easton. I am the daughter of Kay Vallow Woodcock and Larry Woodcock. I am the aunt of JJ Vallow and the niece of Charles Vallow. I've been getting a lot of messages in regards to Chandler Police Department's investigation that came out through the FOIA request. A few text exchanges between Lori and her sister Summer. Nate Eden of East Idaho News invited Summer Cox Shiflett to be his guest at CrimeCon. I'm going to read the text exchange between Lori Vallow Daybell and her sister Summer Cox Shiflett. Looking on page 314 of the Chandler Police Department FOIA docs, I'm going to read a small excerpt, text exchange between Lori Vallow Daybell and her sister Summer Cox Shiflett. In both of Lori's accounts, she had regular communication with her sister Summer, who was listed in her phone as, quote, some, unquote. The number linked to Summer was blank. Summer also shared Lori's religious belief. I'm going to repeat that. Summer also shared Lori's religious beliefs. On 10/7/2019, so this was after Brandon Boudreaux had gotten shot at, Summer sent Lori a message asking if she already knew about the Tesla incident. I'm reminding you that Brandon Boudreaux drove a Tesla. Lori responded at 15:51 hours, indicating that she did not know. Summer asked if she could call or text. Lori asked Summer to text her. The following is the text string as it appears. Summer. An incident that supposedly happened to Brandon. Sounds highly suspicious. Lori. Brandon's Tesla or the Tesla company? Summer. Brandon's. He claims someone shot at him and shot the window to his Tesla a few days ago. Police are looking into it. Summer also texts. I think he is either trying to set Al up or making a future hit on Mel. Make him look innocent, knowing him. But who knows, knowing him. Sounds suspicious to me. On page 315 of 1108, the conversation continues. Lori, maybe it was Edgar? Where is he? Summer. She sent a bunch of question marks and emojis with the male-female symbol. I doubt it was him. He wouldn't miss or leave witnesses. He usually makes things look like natural causes, but I don't know where he is or what he is doing. Summer also texts. He has a message to me on his Smule page, but I haven't responded. Summer then forwarded Lori an image of an unknown subject on music recording app Smule with the username of, quote, XZZYZX, unquote. It is suspected that this was Edgar. Searching Smule through Lori's iCloud account, I discovered that she was using this app to send songs or communicate with Chad Daybell as well. This was evident in the links that they would send to each other. And that is the end of that text string. So let me know what you think. Do you think that Edgar is a hitman? Do you think he is just Summer's old high school boyfriend? Do you think that the picture of Summer and Edgar is as recent as high school? It doesn't look like that to me. It looks like, a couple years ago, if that. So let me know what you think. And I was waiting on the reactions. Let's not forget, we still have a trial coming up in Arizona, and we want to get justice for Charles Vallow. my uncle, and we want to get justice for Brandon Boudreaux. He survived the attempt on his life. Alex missed. He did not hit Brandon, fortunately. And so, according to Summer's message, the whole concerning part is I doubt it was him. He wouldn't miss or leave witnesses. He usually makes things look like natural causes, but I don't know where he is or what he is doing. Okay. Check, please. This is nuts. Let's keep the conversation going down below. That's where it's at.
So a 45 caliber round in the chest looks like natural causes.
I'm just saying. I mean, but do you see the caliber of people we're dealing with right now? It's like a mob or mafia, straight up. I'm sorry for saying
but not as clever or experienced enough to like.
No, but sneaky as all get out and very deceptive, very manipulative, all the things that entails. They can be stupid as the day is long, as I believe they are. But I mean, that doesn't take, they're just as deadly. I pick on about Chad being a nerd, and I don't have any. I'm like, he's just a nerd. He's a nerd. He's a thumb. He's a
goober. Like back in my day, we called them goobers. Yeah.
Yeah. Just all those things. Okay. Oh, well, I give up. It looked like he had in the top of his shirt, but it was a short sleeve shirt. No, it wasn't. He had it just like this. Sorry, I'm making y'all sick. He had it just like this, I think. No, it was a short sleeve shirt. And he had something white hanging out the bottom of it. I was like, does he have like an envelope stuck in there? And I was like, oh shit, those are his undergarments. But I mean, all these years didn't catch it. And it's just this one, he's got his arms folded up like this, and it's like the shirt rides up a little bit, and you can, anyway. So all that just to tell you that. And that's another thing.
It cracks me up. It cracks me up. People on the outside looking in when they call it magic underwear, because I'm kind of like, you know what? That's pretty funny. Calling it magic underwear, because there were, that's the whole reason he invented it in the first place, because they're supposed to be protective garments. They're supposed to protect you from certain things.
Right. And it's like a good luck charm. Kind of like the patriarchal blessings, I mean, kind of the patriarchal, which I have Tylee's patriarchal blessing. I have Colby's too. If I knew where to mail it to, I would mail him all this stuff. Because I had some of Uncle Charles's things, like I found his temple. Not his temple. He was paying tithing, and this was in Hawaii, and it was like $12,000 for like a 6-month gap of time. I was like, good Lord. Did I say $12,000 a month? I hope I didn't. That's not what I meant.
No, you said 12. You said 12,000 for 6 months. So that means he's making 120,000 every 6 months, or 240,000 a year, if you extrapolate it out. And it's the same, but we know he got bonuses
10%.
and stuff from
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what Lori was in it for, right? Why is she trying to unalive him?
I don't know.
For Chad. For Chad.
I mean, I know that's and like Chad is so jealous. He's seething, with jealousy, and he wanted everything that my uncle was, and he will never, not in this lifetime or any. He can add all the lifetimes up together, and he needs to go still run a couple more laps, just to get in there.
So was it like the group thing though? Like this whole group thing developed over time, this like sexual energy of sleeping with other people and sleeping around. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess maybe the thrill of it, especially when, let's say you're in a secret group. I mean, I try to do the behavioral stuff, of what, not just look at it as Lori and Chad stuff, but look at it as if it is a ring of people, which I believe it is, because everybody was covering their own ass. They were all covering their own asses, still are. And nobody, even Christina was like, she allegedly told Lori, she testified saying that she told Lori after finding out that Lori was putting Xanax or whatever the hell in Uncle Charles's smoothies, that if she finds out that Charles is dead, she's going straight to the police. And she did not do that either.
She did not.
So,
who else said that? There was somebody else that said that they were going to go to the police.
I don't know. Probably nobody, because not these people.
Yeah, I don't know. There are so many complicating factors in this that my brain can't keep up.
And then I feel like with Melanie Gibb and David.
Oh, it was Adam. It was Adam. Didn't Adam say something like that? Like, if something happens to him, I'm going to go to the police. Maybe.
I don't know.
He didn't say it on the stand, but I think that I heard that or saw something like that in one of the texts.
I'll keep my eyes peeled for it. It was Christina that I was just talking about, but it wasn't Serena, I don't think.
I don't think so.
It wasn't Zelema.
No.
Anyways, it's I wonder if like they're going to be called in. Yeah, I try not to even, I know I'm just speculating, but I just try not to even think about that, because this trial disappointed me as far as that. I was just like, where's everybody at? Where's the casting crew? Where's Two Loud Wrecking crew? And so I've also found Chad's charts I found some on Academia when I was researching, digging around. The charts that say how many billions or how many males and females there are on the planet. I'm like, It's not just Chad's. It's a ritual. It's like I don't know. It's crazy, but crazy. This works for this kind of people. This, like, they call themselves like-minded people. So I'm just quoting them. Yeah, that's what this is. You can't convince me otherwise. Well, yeah, you can. I mean, I'm flexible, but it just, I can't. Why? I mean, I can't stop the burning desire to, like, there's something here, and I don't think I'm stupid. I think I'm not the smartest person, but I'm just saying I'm not dumb either. And I feel compelled that there is so much more. And it has to do with this aspect of it. And that's being hidden and covered even, once more, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things. So it's been going on forever. Secret society to me, and then realizing the temple itself is a secret. It's its own secret society, because you have to have a damn temple, I recommend, that people were willing to murder for. And I say people. Lori was like, give me my damn temple recommend, or I'm going to commit murder. You had Hector Sosa, who was part of this get up. Okay. And he's like, it reminds me, I've said this so many times, but it reminds me of Fun with Dick and Jane. The scene where they're like, everybody's going batshit crazy. The company's plummeting, it's folding, and there's people running with ficuses, people are shredding stuff. And that's what it was like with Pathway to Zion, which was a website that obviously Hector Sosa had part in. And yeah, he's like, don't tell nobody about multiple mortal probations, or I forget the other thing. Either way. And so the first thing I did was go look for multiple mortal probations. And the other thing, I forget what it was. Tell me not to do something. I'm going. It wasn't to me, but it was to his community. And they were like, they were closing it down. They were putting it to read mode only for a time. And I'm just like, what was really going on here? And so you're trying to figure all that out. And with no context. Okay. I didn't know anything about Mormonism at all, first off. So I was stuck. It's been fend for myself this whole time, for the most part.
And it's just like you have gotten further along in unraveling some of this stuff than some of the police departments investigating it. And I mean, that's
with their help, with
right.
with
Yeah,
their
no,
information.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think so.
But into the stuff behind the stuff, because they can't take that into court. They can't take the Glenn Pace memo into court.
No. I wish we lived in a society like that, though. Where it was all just, here it is. But, you know, a girl can wish, can't she? And we don't live in that kind of society, but it's just learning to work around all the rules. Anyways, and then again, you know, we can create more laws, but I'm kind of at the point where, or at the realization where it's like, why don't we try enforcing the ones that we do have?
Mhm.
You know, I
Well,
mean, let's try that out.
There's a concept that goes back hundreds of years that says the more laws, the more lawlessness. In other words, you can make laws to make sure people buckle their seatbelt. You could make laws to make people brush their teeth every night.
Yeah, but
when you pass that, you're just going to have a whole bunch of lawbreakers out there because not everybody's
Yeah.
going to brush their teeth at night. Not everybody's going to buckle their seatbelt because not everybody's all that bright. Like buckling
Not
your
everybody's
seatbelt's a
a
good
rule
thing.
follower, right?
Right.
That's it. You know, I mean, myself included. I'm not exonerated. I am never exalted. Okay, I've done my share of red lights, and I'm just saying, as far as rule following, you know, I live on the edge.
You look like a total rebel. You are. I can just see it. You're a
I'm a
rebel.
little shit. You know, tell me. I mean, I'm always trying to figure out ways of, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, tell me I can't, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah. When I met your mom, I was like, you
right?
and your daughter remind me of each other like so much. And she gave me a look like, are you for real? Are you really saying that to me right now?
It's true. I mean, it's an uncle. Well, Allison, I had her on not I want to say last Sunday. I think she dated Uncle Charles, you know, in high school and college.
And what's her nickname?
She's, Cherry Pie.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that Uncle Charles was like a dog with a bone, and she was like, you two and your mom runs in the family, and can't help it. But not like prying, you know. And I remember mom's testifying to that, like she didn't pry. You know, when Lori was, and I, you know, if you know, we go back and we say, if we could have said this, we would have said that. You know, just things like critiquing yourself after, like she testified, and then she was like, "Oh, I should have said this," but she did great, I think. But the one part, especially since it was so short, right? Lori got it. I can't even believe she did that. You know, I can't believe she got up and even confronted my mom, but she did. She was whimpering, you know, I think so. She was like, July 11th, you know, it was funny. But I'm just glad that my mom got to have that finally. It was a long time. And it wasn't even in the way that she wants it, but my mom is a rule follower in that sense, where this is the game. This is the game we got to play. These are the rules, you know, I have to follow whatever I got to do to get there.
Yep. She said it's been walking through hell for 6 years is what she said afterwards. Yeah.
And it has, you know, but the part about when Lori asked about if Charles and Tylee had a volatile relationship or whatever. And I wish mom would have acted like she had not been in the courtroom and saw all the testimony and Lori's angle at it, and just been like, what are you talking about? You know, just pretend like she didn't know anything. But again, you know, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Just kind of makes me wonder, like, how Lori would have angled it. She'd have had to have elaborated. Anyways, that's no big deal. But yes, he is.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, yes, he is. Is Bonilla still active in
the short answer? That's your shortest answer of the day.
Sure is. Yeah.
But when narcissists get in court and they have to abide by the court rules, and they have a prosecutor like Trina Kay that holds them to abiding by the rules of evidence and the rules of procedure and the rules of law, then they get trapped into a corner where they have no choice but to have like a really short cross of your mother and Nancy Joe and Serena and Nancy. I mean, just
even the detective or even the officers that responded, I was proud of them too.
Yeah.
And just all the people. It takes all of them to make it a success.
To make her go away.
Yeah,
to make her go away eventually. Yeah.
And you could see it, you could hear it. And like especially in Idaho, I could with all the detectives. I mean, I feel for them. I feel so bad for them because of what they had to see because of these assholes. And nobody should have ever had to witness that. Nobody should ever have to, exit this world that way either. But, there are those that do this kind of work and, they don't expect to wake up one morning and just find out about 2 missing kids. And it was on after that. And I feel for them. But I also am investigative, and I'm like, okay, but who's dirty? Because there's corruption everywhere. I don't know. I have to I can do different opinions of the same people. I've had to, because I'm like, I like her as a prosecutor, I like him as a prosecutor, or I like the work they do, or however they did it in this case, but. I always wonder because it's all about connection.
That's kind of how I am on my channel. I try not to be on other people's too much, but I question things objectively, like according to the rules of law and the rules of procedure. I believe Trina K asked leading questions like almost every single freaking time of every single witness, but that's on Lori. That's on Lori for not knowing to object. That's completely on her. She does not have to be representing herself. She chose to represent herself, and she doesn't know enough to object to those leading questions. So
exactly. She and like mom was like, the day he was murdered, and she didn't say nothing. I thought that was interesting. And I always wondered, like, was her paralegal like tapping her and saying, "Okay, object." Or
well, she made her 2 advisory counsel sit at the table behind her, and I'm like, that is the dumbest. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Especially Pam Hicks. Like I honestly think that at some point in time after the pretrial hearings, she's just like, I'm done with you. Like, go sit in the back, and I got this now. I got it. She didn't.
She's wild, and I mean, it's so. What was it in her? I wonder how Judge Boreski is going to. I mean, if he watched the interview, I hope the hell he did. Somebody sent it to him. The interview, the post-conviction interview where Lori says that basically nothing in this life affects her. And I mean, I wish I had the right context because I hate quoting people because of this. Okay. But.
And if you stream that,
it has no effects on her. Yeah, I know. They're like, it's like whack-a-mole. But I just, how no punishment in this lifetime, no sentence, no, sentence it can stick to her, and that pisses me off, and maybe that's why she does it. Because I mean, that's got to factor in as an aggravating factor. She has no remorse that doesn't factor in, but she has no remorse, and she's just basically saying, it didn't matter what you do, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever bounces off of me lands on you, whatever. Anyways. And no matter what is sentenced or what is the word I'm looking for? Whatever she's held accountable for, whatever sentence they not inflict, but
sentence her to. What sentence they
I didn't want to say sentence. Yeah. Shut up, Joe. But like no punishment. There you go. No punishment is going to hurt her. it's like back in the day when my dad would say, "Go get my belt," boy, and I knew I had to go really slow to go get the damn belt because that was about to go across my ass, right? And so I'm just like,
Yeah, I had a
but then
friend
the
whose
time
dad.
when you don't cry and they're like pissed off,
Right.
and they're
Yep.
like, "Oh, hell no."
I
That's what
had a
it's like.
friend. Yes, I had a friend whose dad would make him go cut his own switch for his punishment. So of course, when he first started doing that, he would go get like the smallest stick that he could find.
Oh yeah,
But those
that's
things
too.
hurt.
Yeah.
So he ended up over time, like he would come back with the biggest log he could find. He's like, "All right, hit me with that, Dad."
Yeah. But yeah, Stacy, I'm not gonna say her last name because I can't right now. Doesn't count for me. That's that same attitude. And Miss 56 says we'll have zero effect on her in eternity or some such crap. Yeah, it won't. It's like it won't affect me. So to me, it's like she has 0 F's given. Is what it like. No matter what you do, consequences, it ain't gonna affect me. And I'm just like, it is affecting you right now. It's literally affecting you. You're advocating allegedly for some women that you just doing that. You're probably not even doing it. She's probably not even helping them. She's just trying to lead by example, which I'm sorry, but this just brought this up. The part in the trial where Lori is saying or questioning, who is it? Duncan, about did me and my brother cooperate with the operation, with the investigation, all that stuff, all that jazz. To me, it's like she was a Mormon trying to prove her obedience and her worthiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we were obedient, we are worthy in a way.
Right. She asked that a lot of the law enforcement
Yeah,
officials.
she did.
Like, did we cooperate? And then she would ask, "Do we cooperate with all of the law enforcement officials?" And Trina's like, "Objection. This guy can't testify to all of the law enforcement people. He can testify for himself." So then she would reword it. But yeah, I get that vibe too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. She still gets to curl her hair. She gets to put on makeup. But I mean, that's fading very fast. Her face is falling off, for Christ's sake. It's like, you never know what kind of lumpy potatoes you're going to get. And I have no room. I'm just saying. But damn, I ain't murdered nobody. There's that.
I'm going to hate it when my Botox injections wear off. I'm going to be hating that.
Man.
Did she have Botox? Somebody said she had Botox. I don't know.
At first, like Mom, I remember people asking, and I mean, Mom was like, no, but there's a receipt that Uncle Charles turned in to his attorney when he did file for divorce. And at the very bottom of it's actually Chase bank account is what it is. And at the very bottom, you can literally just see the name of the place and the date and the amount. And so when I was like, well, what the hell place is this? So I looked it up and it was in Arizona, and it was like one of those spa places where they do those kind of Botox injections and hair transplant, all the things. And I'm like, oh, and I checked the dates, and it was when Uncle Charles was out of town, and I was like, hooker, you go and got your face. You got the mondo. Girl. So that did it for me. I was like, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it could have been for waxing the eyebrows, or I don't know. Anyways, also, I was watching a bed crime stories. It's a smaller YouTube channel.
I met her. I met her at the trial.
Okay, yeah, she went there. Okay, well that makes sense. But she interviewed April. Starts with a G, but I don't remember it. Gold or Gord, I don't know. And she used to be neighbors with Uncle Charles and Lori for like 7 years. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty significant. And she was now, and this kind of look, I'm only bringing this up because I mean, it's fast. It's interesting. It's could be part of the story. I don't know. Cause Tyler's not here. But she kind of was like, there was some contention going on between April's daughter and Tylee, but it's because April's daughter knew that Tylee was hiding, and I don't blame her ass for doing it. She was hiding, smoking the ganja. That she did, that what do I call this? Symbolism? I don't know what to say. And I'm like, oh, I hope like hell she was smoking some weed. I hope like hell she, of all people, needed to be smoking some damn weed. Just saying. Anyway, so like the girl was gonna tell on Tylee, or gonna go tell Lori or something. I don't know. I fell asleep after that, but anyways, I was just like, that's pretty. I'm glad she found some kind of out. I really do. If she did, just saying.
Absolutely.
I'm not exalted, so whatever she had to do to cope, because it was bad. That had to have been hell. And I'm like, did Uncle Charles just ignore every effing red flag? It's so sad when you really just all the red flags. If there's a people pleaser, it was him.
Yeah, and all of the people that ignored the red flags and all the people that didn't see them or ignored them was just too much. As a society, we can't do that. We can't continue to ignore red flags or close our eyes to them or not see them.
Once they're open, for sure, you can't.
Yep.
Like, I came up with a little saying or whatever, like to turn and look the other way is to silence another victim. And I can't live with that on my conscience. I feel like it's my duty. It's my job. It's my role to just kind of call it all. I can't do it by myself, but I mean, just to call out what I can, what I do know, right from wrong, and to stand, like you said, stand up and not turn away, not turn a blind eye. Can't do that. Once you see it, you're like, that's not right. That's on you. You're now part of the problem if you're not going to do anything about it. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to degrade anybody, but because I was literally like walking through life, poking bubbles, popping bubbles. I wouldn't watch the news because it made me depressed, or it would feed into my anxiety, and I was like, So I kind of steered clear of that. Only would learn what I had to. I don't know. That's not a way to live. You can't just shut things out. That doesn't mean that they're not there. Okay, Crush K? That doesn't mean that they don't exist. That just means that you're closing your whole mind off to that even being real. And so it's a delusion, I believe. And we're all
and when enough people in an organization or a church turn a blind eye to it or ignore it or discount it through cognitive dissonance, then it becomes an organizational or systemic problem.
That's why I don't want to rule out any of the possibilities. I don't want to shut the doors, because I know in a legal sense, those areas are definitely not explored. And I don't think they're explored enough for us to even have a good understanding about them, much less to just shut it off. Like, that is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, what? It's not real. To who? You? Like, it's real to these people who are crying about it. I'm not going to sit here and tell them that they didn't experience what they experienced. I don't have to understand it in order for their experience to be real. Like, I don't think so. Anyways, and I just feel like, even though Tylee and JJ's, in their case, it was the most extreme example of satanic ritual abuse or ritualistic abuse, whatever you want to call it. I believe that they are still an example of this happening today. Or 2019. Then we had the Frankie children. Then we could have had Melanie Boudreaux and Brandon Boudreaux's children as well to add to the body count. When this is a lot of loss and death and destruction. And, you know, my Uncle Charles did say in a text message to Lori that she was a destroyer of families. And
yes, yep, I remember that. I mean, I wasn't there, but I remember seeing it.
either Lori was. Lori was there.
Yeah.
We were not.
Yeah,
That's
and
okay.
I think that
I
the
think it's
decision that we make as a human being to turn a blind eye to this stuff without looking into it. And I'm not saying you have to go out and be like, oh, what are you doing? I mean, because that creates a lot of Karens, like confrontation like that. But you can be a little bit curious. You can like
What's
check
wrong
into
with it?
stuff.
I've myself
it's
been
just-
afraid of people labeling me, but we live in a labelistic society anyway. So that's just, you know, if not the algorithm's doing it, if not, you know,
right. So
already
I think the example I'm thinking of is what happened to me on my birthday dinner a couple of nights ago.
Oh, your
So
birthday
I
was the
went
8th,
to
right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. Happy birthday.
So I took an Uber over to a little restaurant, or a big restaurant that was not very full over here, like an American style restaurant, kind of remind me of a Logan's Roadhouse. And when I'm in there, I go and I set up my laptop and I plug into the wall. The bartender tells me where there's a plug and go. So I'm working, thinking about what I'm going to eat, thinking about what I'm going to drink. And there's this gal that's like in her early 20s that's just like bouncing all around the bar. And I figure out pretty quickly that she's probably intoxicated on something, maybe alcohol and something else, or just something else. But she's like bouncing all around the bar. She wants it still. She keeps going out to the side room where people go out to smoke. And she stops by my table like 3 times to engage in conversation with me. And it's very flirtatious conversation. And I'm like, I'm 55 years old today. And I'm not like, I'm like,
shut the front door, AARP.
Yeah. Right?
You don't look 55 damn years old.
Oh,
okay. First
thank
off, you must be
But-
Mormon. Just kidding. They really don't age. Okay.
Thank you. But yes, but it's completely like, I don't know what her intention is to stop by my table like 3 times. So I ask her, like, are you hungry? Like the first time was like right after my food got delivered. I'm like, are you hungry? I mean, I have more than enough here. I'm willing to share with you. And out of no way, like any type of flirtatious, it was just like, hey, if you're like that kind of person that's on drugs and maybe you're hungry, I'm more than happy to share my food with you. And then the second time I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need me to like get you some help or something? Because she wasn't the only one going out to the side room. There were employees and customers who were also going out to the side room.
Okay, that's weird.
And there were some loud conversations going on out there. Like she would like pretty close to yell. Like it's hard to say, but I was right by the door, so it sounded like she was yelling to me. And there would be raised voices out there. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on in that side room, but I'm getting a little concerned. And then the third time she comes over, and I'm like, can I get you an Uber or Lyft home? Like, do you need a ride home? I'll get you an Uber or a Lyft right now. She's like, nope, I'm good.
Damn.
But she went back out a 4th time and there were more raised voices. And so like in that situation, what do we do? And I texted 911 and the cops came out and the cops checked to make sure she was okay. And they got her in a Lyft or an Uber to go home. Actually, one of the patrons at the bar got her an Uber or Lyft to go home. So, but in that situation, like,
you're right.
Do you turn your back to that side room? Because I was literally right by the door where they're going in and out. And do you ignore it? Do you ignore the yelling and the raised voices?
No, I think you did the right thing. You did the right thing. As much as another person can do for as much as a concerned person can do for another person. Oh, wait, I had it right the first time, but yeah, she turned it down. So she's a willing participant
Right. But on the other hand, she was also causing a bit of a disturbance and nobody in the bar was willing to do anything about it. Like none of the other patrons, the employees, especially, like if that's going on in your establishment, like you should be like, okay, we need to figure out what's going on here. And do you need to leave? You know, can we help you get a ride home? I just wanted to make sure she was okay. That was like my 100% comparison because, you know, when she has like 3 flirtatious encounters with me and she's clearly intoxicated on something, I'm like, somebody could very well take advantage of her, and that's not happening on my watch.
It kind of sounds like, I mean, I have in my past, I mean, I've since learned the difference, you know, how you can be just as reckless by being like that. Okay. There's so many times I was in a bar and I was 2 sheets to the wind, 3 sheets to the wind, whatever. And I didn't care. I didn't care because obviously I was masking something and looking for love in all the wrong places, literally. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's along those lines. And it's just, I had to come to a realization with myself. So, but there's so many times I was that girl in a sense where just being reckless, and in a way that's abuse to yourself. You know, you're abusing your own self by degrading in that sense and diluting and not ever facing that.
Yeah, or just not even taking care of yourself, just not like
Right.
taking standard precautions to take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like Stacy says, you did the right thing. You're a good human. It really, because it takes people like you to lead by example also, you know. A lot of these people that are in and around Lori and their circle, there's a lot of talk, but there's no action. And if so, the action never aligns with what they're saying. That's a huge indicator for me. It's like, I mean, it takes you a little bit, you know, to figure that out. But if they're talking, and I mean, that goes across the board for anybody. It's like, I don't know. It's just something I noticed a lot of, where you can talk about Jesus, but that doesn't mean you're a damn saint. Okay. It does not. It just means you talk about Jesus and whatever. You don't live like it. You don't lead by example. So
Yeah, and the reason why that story came to mind in our discussion right now is because we have that decision as an individual in a circumstance like that, or as a bishop who's interviewing somebody who comes in for counseling and admits that they've been abused in one form or another. You know, do you report that? Because it's, I mean, especially in the Mormon church, but even in our society, it's frowned upon. Like you're looked at like a tattletale by,
yeah,
you know, by
or like I'm telling you, a lot of like following the Diddy case, they're like, oh, she just wants clout, and I'm like, shut the F up. Are you fucking serious? Do you hear yourself? I mean, I'm just saying, like, clout chaser of what? Of being ridiculed by everybody, you know, not believed. Like, anyways, we got to change the way we do things around here and start treating people like like literally as if we were in their shoes. I mean, it's one of the golden rules. And that's something that we don't have a lot of.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted to add to y'all. Recently in Washington, there were some new laws passed about mandatory reporting. And because it's clergy sometimes get out of it by a clergy, I think it's called penance. Is that right, Joe? Do you know?
Clergy penitent.
Okay. Well, and they made it in Washington that that's not the case. Everybody is a mandatory reporter there. However, this is a new thing because this group sued against I think it was the Catholic Church and Jehovah's Witnesses about this mandatory reporting thing. The Trump administration is looking at them as being anti-religious because they're simply trying to fight against
abuse.
Thank you. I didn't say the bad word. But anyway, so that's something we need to watch too, is because we want all of the states to make the clergy mandatory reporters, because I mean, it's a crime. They shouldn't even be talking about, should I call the police? It's a crime. Okay. I'm
Right.
gonna get out of here.
Don't go override and take that liberty or take that away from the clergy, period. And report it to them, but report it to the police first. That way you just took that burden off of your bishop. Okay. And that way they don't have to worry their little head about that. And at least it doesn't block you in that sense. And then go to your bishop or your priest or whomever for your own, your spiritual guidance, because that's what they're there for. Anyways, that's just one way to just kind of omit or just remove them from the equation. Yes. Mandatory reporting is so important. My God, as a reformed JW, that place was crawling with abusers. They all are, I do believe. I've come to wake up to that along this journey. And it's not, again, I stay in the trenches. Okay. I do. I put myself there, but I'm just trying to understand, I'm not going to stay in the trenches forever, but I feel like I have to get in the trenches in order to understand it's dark. The story does not end with, oh, you got Chad and Lori, sentenced to multiple life sentences, to death row. Okay, it didn't stop.
Yeah, who's the next one?
The crazy
Who's the next
continues
victim?
on, right? And then boom, there's the Frankie and Hildebrandt and Tim Ballard, and that's just in this little arena, the same little clique. And I'm just like, no. I mean, it's far more larger than that. It's not just Chad and Lori. I mean, they're who we hold, responsible at the core of it. Those two are the most responsible. And I even hold Lori above that, or I say above, but more responsible, because she was a effing mother. She had one job, and it's just like, just don't kill your kids. That's basically what it is. Okay. And it's just like, she not only did that, but she set it up, and she premeditated, and she calculated, and she collaborated and conspired, and every sense of the word. I mean, she exploits everybody around her. Chad, I think that's the common denominator in all these kind of cases. That it's all about exploitation. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is. It's funny because two of my brothers and two of my sisters are still LDS, and the one that lives outside of Salt Lake City, he and his beautiful wife. I love my sister-in-law, Kaylin. She's not listening, but if she was, I'd say, hey, Kaylin, what up, girl? They have 8 kids, like 6 girls and 2 boys. They're beautiful, beautiful kids. She's a beautiful wife. I don't know why she ever picked my brother, but she's more than he deserves. But when this case came out, they had a discussion about who they thought was more guilty than the other one. And of course, she said that Chad was more, and he said that Lori was more. But that's about as far as their conversation went, because they have dance classes, and they have basketball, and they have volleyball and soccer and all the other things with 8 kids, right? But I thought that was funny that she picked him, Chad, to be the one more involved, and he picked her. Yes,
they're both disgusting.
Yes,
they really are. But I mean, as a mother, I just think you have just this natural, inkling. I mean, this natural, sense, this natural desire, to protect your children. Like, that's crazy when the boogeyman is your actual mother, Uh-oh.
Yeah. And, at one point in time, they adopted JJ. And what was his name when they adopted him?
Kanan.
Right.
Kanan Todd.
So they adopted him. and they had to talk your mother into adopting him. And
Yeah.
she finally agreed, and they did. And then how does she go from that to what ended up happening in the end? Like, I really have trouble fathoming that transformation that happened in them, and her especially, over those years. I don't get it.
Right. It's terrible. I mean, it's such a betrayal. Like that there can't be anything like it, you know? I mean, that's I don't know. I was so against it. I was against it, but I didn't know the whole story, you know. I didn't know, like, when my mom told me that that Charles and Lori were thinking about adopting my only nephew. Okay, he's still my only nephew. I don't have any nieces, or I mean, not I have step nieces and step nephews, but I don't have, you know, that's like, I mean, I always imagined that I'm 8 years older than my brother, but I always imagined that I would be a cool aunt or just have that kind of relationship. But I mean, with the adoption, that went away too, because we didn't all get to have the same talk that Mom and Larry had with Lori and Charles about maintaining the grandparent role. I was like, well, where do I fit? You know, like, what am I now? And it's a very odd thing. And my brother was in jail at the time, and I was just like, this just doesn't feel right in that sense. Like, it just didn't feel right that my brother was not able to be out in the free world and be part of the, I'm sure he was. I don't really know the story verbatim. One day he'll tell his story, you know, when he gets out and wants to, if he wants to. But there's nothing like watching my brother lose his child twice. Once by his own decision, you know, because a consequence of his own decision making. And then again, whenever Lori did what she did. So, I mean, it is tragic, but it's not, she can't say it. She cannot say it. She don't have that right. You know, she's the source for the tragedies.
Well, she doesn't even want to, though. She has never once expressed one iota of remorse, right?
Nope. Nope, not at all. I mean, seriously, Judge Boyce was like, you have no remorse. And I mean, it is what it is. He's right. I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't know if I ever will, or if we ever will. But we got to keep our eyes open. We got to be alert. We've got to be vigilant.
Yeah. I'm glad you shared that story, because that's very important. And I mean, I know sometimes, and I'd rather be that person that butted in, or, you know, I'd rather you have to turn the cops away than me find out on the news the next day that, you know, you were murdered, or, you know, something bad.
Something bad happened to her. Like that would make me feel worse than something bad happening to me. Like if I saw that, you know, she got picked up by a bad person in the bar and went home with them or wherever, and something bad happened to her, I would have probably not been able to forgive myself for not doing that.
Exactly. But not everybody thinks like that. You know, not everybody, a lot of people are just kind of with just like with horses, and they have the blinders on, and that way they can't see what's going on around them, basically, to spook them. But it's just like that. But everybody is so engrossed in their own crap too, you know. I mean, that's what I was. And then this slapped the shit out of me a bunch of times. And that's what I'm saying. It shocked me. It shocked my entire system, my whole body, like my core. It rocked it, you know. And I was just like, you know, mine was trauma, but I don't want people to find out that way. I want people to just, but sometimes it takes something really huge to kind of wake you up and snap you out of the shit you're in, or, you know, just minding your own business, doing your own thing, and just not really paying paying attention.
Yeah.
But I'm like
that's society for the most part today, though, is just, sitting on your phone and hearing and seeing stuff that's going on around you and not paying a bit of attention because you're on your phone, you're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Oh, wait, we're on YouTube right now.
Scroll and roll, I mean, for real, it is.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's a really good title for some type of
Roll and roll.
Yes, scroll and roll. That's a really good title. So maybe we should scroll and roll.
Oh, look what Donna just posted this up here. She put, this is May 5th, 2025, just after a guilty verdict in the trial of Lori Vallow, the 2020 limited true crime series Bad Romance reports on the latest in the case. Okay. ABC News contributor and ESPN. Okay, I don't want to read all that. Go. Thank you. Less than 2 weeks ago on so Bad Romance airing Tuesday, May 6th. So that was Tuesday when we were, says the word Tuesday. So, okay, so it's just basically a series, I guess. Is it a series or just a show? I've already forgot.
Ryan Smith, ESPN analyst. So there was a Purdue basketball player named Ryan Smith, and I my mind would be blown if it's the same dude that went to Purdue University.
Huh. So you can find it on ABC and streaming the next day on Hulu if you have Hulu, which I still do from all these damn interviews from Ruby Frankie, or not interviews, but shows. Ruby Frankie and Laura Whore. I get tired of it. Thank you, Donna. I pulled, look, and so I think I got to go check on Jason here pretty soon, but I wanted to kind of.
You haven't heard from him? Is he like a kid? He's getting in trouble because you haven't heard from him in a while?
No, he has some health problems.
I get it. I was being sarcastic.
All right, I'll go with it. I'll yeah. I should have, but I don't know why I didn't.
Make sure he's not in there like busting out the sacks of flour, spreading them all over the kitchen floor.
Worries the shit out of me, y'all. I mean, that I'm just like, how about a near-death experience every damn day, just freaking out with him sometimes. It was really bad for a while. Because with a stroke, it's a traumatic brain injury, which they didn't tell me that at the hospital that day. And I mean, I didn't realize it because I was, again, so engulfed in all this up to my eyeballs in it. This is the end of 2021. So yeah. And I realized that I'm like, oh my God, yeah, he had a traumatic brain injury. And because I was like, why am I all of a sudden, I'm saying sorry a lot. And there's just, the dynamics changed. And I just, again, just with the blinders on, okay, cognitive dissonance, all the things. He was right there in front of me exhibiting the signs, the red flags flashing in my face, and I didn't see those either. But I had, really nothing to base it off of. My grandma's had some strokes, but that was all I had.
Right, and he doesn't seem like a likely candidate, right? So which side of the brain was it on?
It affected his left side, so it was the right.
Right. So his right side is partially paralyzed. Is he rehabbing okay?
Oh, he's a freak of nature is what I call him. Because I documented it on my YouTube channel, where he had the stroke, and then I swear it was like okay, so you have like a 2-week window of time where whatever you are doing at that point in time after the stroke, that's about where that's your peak. You're gonna have that much talk. His speech was slurred and all that, and he's, he'll stutter. He'll get to stuttering. If he's tired, then he stutters a lot. But I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, I'm just here. I'm his mate, you know, but it just has made me realize a lot of things. But I mean, yeah, so he was like riding a exercise bike the next day, and I was just like, what the hell? And he blows my mind with he's just relentless, and he doesn't give up. And I really find that so you know, just I look up to him for that, because he's just got this insurmountable amount of strength that I'm just like, God dang, you know.
Perseverance can be one of our
Yes.
strongest suits as a human being. Like perseverance, like determination can be one of our
Yeah.
strongest suits. Like we can be, and I'm not saying this about Jason, I'm just saying this in general about human beings. We can be like not so smart, we can be like not so fast.
Mhm.
But if we have perseverance and determination, we can overcome a lot of shit in our lives.
And resiliency. That's something my counselor told me that when I was like 15. She was like, you are resilient. I was like, okay. I didn't really understand it.
Yes.
But I mean, I
Yes.
get it now, because I don't know how to give up, because I've never given up. And I mean, really, none of us have, because we've all survived 100% of every bad day, or every day when we're like, oh my God, this is it. You know, like, whether through our thoughts or, you know, like, oh gosh, I'm just, yeah, you know, just the thoughts that go through your head, and you're like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I feel like I'm going to die, you know, those kind. But, you know, or when you're like, I remember, I'm going to tell myself right here, I got a DWI in 2013. And I remember telling my mama, and I mean, she was my ride or die. But I respected her a lot. I mean, for sure, I didn't want a tongue lashing from her. I've already beat myself up. Trust me, more ways than before anybody could even look at me wrong. You know, I'd already kicked my own ass 11 times. And still do. But I made a mistake. I made a bad mistake that could have been so bad, not just for me, but for other people that I was not paying attention to. I was not considering. Okay, I was being reckless. And my mama was like, can it eat you? And I was like, what? What'd you just say? You know, like, what? And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, no, it cannot eat me. So it made it seem so minimal compared to being eaten, you know? And I don't know, it just kind of changed. It helped me to kind of dig my way out of that. And I had to go through classes and pay all the money and all the things, right? And there were people that were there too, taking the same classes as me, and they would bitch and gripe and complain and blame everybody else. And I was just like, not happy to be there. I didn't want to be there, but I was also like, I put myself here. And so this is part, you know, you do the crime, you do the time. So that was pretrial diversion. And I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like, what can I learn here?
Yeah.
How can I not do this
Perspective is
again?
everything. And perspective from our elders is something that we just have a tendency to ignore when we're especially like in our teens, and becomes more valuable to us the older we get. Like my dad and I had a rocky, I wouldn't say rocky relationship, but it wasn't like we weren't like best friends or anything. And I went and stayed with him in the fall before I came out here to Arizona, like for like a month, maybe 6 weeks. And it was like the best 4 to 6 weeks we've ever had in our relationship. And it changed quite a bit. Yeah. It was awesome. And I value him in my life a lot more, like I should have been doing earlier.
Right. I know. I didn't. This is what the murder, you know, when I found out about my Uncle Charles, it's like just his murder right there, you know, and then however many months later, the kids. But I was already, it's like everything in my life prioritized where I didn't have to think about it. It was just like, here's family, here's, you know what I'm saying? Like, here's all the things. And I had never done that. I'd never had to do that before. And so I don't know. It was like, whatever boot camp, you know, scared straight. I don't know. But it made me realize that family, I do care about my family. I love my family, and I might have to go check on him. I'm trying to listen to it at the same time. So,
all right. Do you want to log off, or do you want to come back and work more on the document? You tell me.
No, I hear him. I hear him kind of hollering. So I need to go check on him.
All right.
I know. Coming, Jason. I'm coming. But thank y'all for just understanding, and yeah, thanks for subscribing to Joe Schmo 88. Sorry. I'm just glad. I just wanted to visit with you guys today. I'm sorry. I've never really. I feel bad for, you know, thumbnail, title, description, and then diversion. All right. I'll see you guys. I got a cough. Sorry.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry. All right. Well, tomorrow night, 7:30 here. Brandon Boudreaux, Melanie Powski, Lori, Alex, Chad, the 7 gatherers. We're all going to be here tomorrow. We're going to talk about the damn timeline, and we're going to do like a boot camp. Not really. It won't be a boot camp, but I already have it scheduled. So I hope you guys join tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Happy
everybody.
Mother's Day to everyone that's a mom, and all the dads that are moms too. I get it. We appreciate you. You are loved. You is kind. You is smart. And you is important. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you for the documents too.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me up.
I'm gonna have to call you, and you have to teach me. Damn it.
All righty.
Because now it's like I gotta know, because it's already wasted so much of my time. But anyways, bye guys. Love you. Love always wins. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe.